Yeah. Not loading as fast as I had hoped. Interestingly enough. Ah, now you are. Means we're live. Welcome, dear little ones. I am for once actually almost fine. Wouldn't you believe it? Well, point being almost. To be fair though, I was not expecting, quite a bit of snow, so I kinda had to prepare the car for tomorrow. But still, reasonably speaking, we are on time for only 6 minutes after the appropriate timing. And I, for once, do not care too much about that, actually. I am very much so giddy with anticipation in this case. Do you know why? Because today, of course, is the day that we start on our newest adventure. So we have finished the last one, we shall start on the new one, which is, of course, only good and proper. And that will also mean that I will, for once, actually need to remember to post shit. I am actually kind of forgotten to do this the last few times, and I just realized when I was looking at the Discord thing, I was like, last one was from the 22nd November. We have like the 26th today. I was like, shit. Inconsistency. I mean, it happens to the best of us, mind you, but that doesn't really necessarily make it all good. Now then, where is the last one? There it is. I should never start something like this, because when I start something like this, I never ever stop. Well, that being said, let us change things around quickly so we can get some introductions done. Whoa. Well, you should be able to see something very shortly. I hope. And let me just wait until it actually loads a bit. Well then, this be it basically, my people. This be it indeed. Pillars of Eternity 2. Dead Fire. After we have so ruthlessly and efficiently solved the last problem. You might remember, taking a certain old man, century-old man, mind you, and his probably very wrinkly and old, yes. We're the heroes. We have saved the day multiple times. We have saved the White Marches 2 times. We have saved the world from the curse of being forever and ever forced into a falsehood. We have destroyed our enemy most viciously and most brutally by destroying his very soul. And then our journey ended. Or so we thought. Here, however, you see our journey to be continuing. Now, to give you a bit of an introduction spiel until, we get going, we're basically going to play this as a, of course, continuation of last time, basically. Which means we're going to play the same character with the choices we made in 1 as our basis for this one. And we're going to play it the same style, which means we're playing out on, classic difficulty without any extra multipliers, no level scaling whatsoever, and nothing. I kinda added it in last time, when it is foreseeable that it would take me like, either the effort of making an actual, freaking video out of it, or possibly multiple hour-long streams of just me fighting the same enemy over and over again. I am willing to reduce the difficulty in that case, because otherwise this rather episodic format will kind of lose its charm quickly. But yes, the Deadfire. Very different kind of beast we have in front of us. Memory ain't that good, just for your information. I have played this pretty much just as much as I did Pillars of Eternity 1, which means I have 1 playthrough that was quite a while ago under my belt. Not much more. And yeah, I would say without much further ado, let us get into it and see how our little hero, after so many a trial, so many a challenge, so many a blood battle, life and death choices to be made and other such nonsense, has fared since we last saw her, being a greedy little asshole, although a very honest greedy little asshole. I do love it, whenever I play this character. Like, yes, I might be a greedy asshole, but at least I'm honest about it. I will take your money, don't get me wrong, but I will at least tell you up front I will. Starto, Gamo. Look at the background, I do like it, it's nicely painted. Yeah, coming from a non-artist perspective, it's always nice. I'm an appreciator of art. I do like to look at it. And not so much, however, you know, being forced to create art. I always hated it, especially in school. Like, draw a human. Okay, that's a stick figure, I know, but that's the best of my ability. Let's just hope that our character will look a bit more like, you know, an actual character, not like a fucking stick figure. Which kinda, you know, ruined my first impression a bit. I will admit I'm kinda really looking forward to this one. You know, a good bit of giddy anticipation on my side here. So,
Aora, a world where mortals live, die, and are reborn through the turning of the wheel. The cycle of reincarnation watched over by the gods, and made possible through pillars of a mystical substance known as Audra.
oh, Adra, you say.
5 years ago, you traveled from your home to the Deerwood, a nation that had waged war against the incarnated god of light, Aethys, resulting in his destruction.
Truly dead. The
country
people
suffered
did.
from a plague of hollowborn, infants born without souls, that many believed was punishment for killing a god.
Nah, that was a lie.
In an ancient, secluded ruin, you witnessed a secret ritual that inadvertently transformed you into a watcher. One who can see and speak with souls.
Yes, we were awesome at it. Remember.
The ritual also gave you horrible visions, waking nightmares of a past life that threatened your sanity. To put them to rest, you pursued the man who had led the ritual.
Sayers ex Arcanum.
Seemingly immortal agent of the gods.
Not
known
the
as
gods.
Theos
What a car.
Ex
Bitch,
Arcanum.
basically. Let me make this very clear.
With divine assistance, you confronted and defeated Theos.
Fine assistance, the gods were
ending your
bitches about
visions
it.
and resolving the Hollowborn crisis. In so doing, you also learned the great secret that Theos had protected. That the ancient empire of Anguith had transformed themselves into gods. Your visions finally put to rest, you retired to the castle of Cadnua, built atop a massive statue of pure Audra, where you ruled in relative peace and prosperity.
Nice. Kinda deserved it though. It was a fucking long journey, honestly. And yeah. Being the fucking lord for a while and having no peace and quiet sounds fucking awesome. Deservedly. Finally we have covered into money.
Made a nice story.
Oh,
You fixing up that old keep?
you of all people telling me
Curse.
stories.
Must
My
have
dear
told it
companion.
100 times.
Yeah, sounds like you. In every pub between here and, you
Something
know,
got
that
to
fire.
gnawing at me. You're thinking the spirits there weren't really at rest. But maybe the gods weren't finished with us.
Hey, shit, come on, don't kill my people. My people! I've probably paid those people. Oh, for fuck's sake.
I used to dream that when my god came back, he would forgive us.
Oh, for fuck's sake, don't wake that thing. It's horrible. Are you taking their souls?
Last the trouble of dreams. Sooner or later, we all have to wake up.
Okay, that's a fucking problem. And that is putting it fucking mildly. Also, I paid for these people. Do you know that? If you kill them, what am I gonna do about that? Fucking asshole. I swear to God, I already have an urge to murder him. God or no God. Also, there are no gods in this world, as we know. They're all just Ingwithian little bitch boys, basically. Oh. But
And so you wake to a sleepless world, the in-between of life and death.
well, the good things we're not dead. We're in the in-between.
Follow your memories. You have been here before.
Here? No. I would know if I had been here. Okay, now we can't go to the left any longer. Which means we can only go to the right, can we not? Ah, well. Continue a little journey we shall.
You
Oh,
have seen past the shroud.
hmm.
You are a watcher now.
Hey, remember
Watcher
this.
you will stay.
This was our first visit to Gilded Vale, the tree full of happiness, standing in the middle of the village. I remember that. Ah, good bit of a little journey, wasn't it? But seriously, whoever that was a statue of, what was he called? Noah or something? If either he or son or whoever fucking possessed that statue thinks he can get away with destroying my fucking castle after I invested quite literally thousands of fucking monies into it, here's another fucking thing coming. I care about my money. I'm going to murder that thing, alright. Swear to God.
Watcher sees
Oh,
souls,
the old Watcher.
knows their pasts, and the souls see them back.
Like something with M, I think your name was, or something with V, I don't remember. You're the old one who got crazy and then I had to put you down because you're a fucking idiot. Like, I'm a Watcher and I suffer, and I'm sitting here like, bitch, please. I have a double whammy of a fucking awesome fast knife involved with the Len Key and Arcanom, which luckily is dead now by this point, but still, you know. And also, don't forget, we have quite actually destroyed his fucking soul. If he comes back, I swear to God, I'm going to be very much pissed. Also, the game really has to do a lot of explanation.
A dubious honor, inheriting a fortress both broken and cursed.
It once was here, but do you remember how much work I invested in the Guardian? Do you remember, Stalwart? So much time and money wasted. I'm getting really pissed off here. Also, whoever has invited me to the realm in between death and life is a problem. Oh, come on, shut up.
A higher power, a rewarder of good deeds and punisher of the wicked.
Well, basically, yes. To be fair, a god is not dead necessarily. A god is the implication that you will get either rewarded or punished for your deeds, not necessarily this life, but in the next life. Which should include a morality system, basically. Which some people say is one of the bases for our society, which, to be fair, back in the day probably was the case, but even without that, society doesn't just break down. Humans are capable of thought themselves, and most people agree that peace is more important.
Something else entirely.
Yes.
Something created by people.
And some say that is true even for reality. Model L11. I mean, if not for your knife earness, I probably would have liked you a bit better, but I did like your boy and scar. Did look kinda cute. That sounds kinda strange. Let's just say that's not one of my fetishes, but it shows character to take your character and actually now.
And did you ever consider that these were things you were never meant to understand? That their comprehension is beyond you?
I'm a fucking human, of course not. We're playing with powers that we aren't really aware of how to deal with anyway. That's quite what we do, you know. I'm sorry to say. Did you ever think about it? No, of course not.
Let them decide what to do.
That's pretty much what we did. We destroyed the gods. Did we? Oh, we actually just learned a secret and then we just sat back and, I guess, played around.
Come.
No, not on camera. Thank you very much. I'm pretty sure nobody is willing to see that. I'm not a nice looking bitch. I don't think that is going to be somewhat of a problem. Look, we get a bit of a background.
An aged dwarf shares this strange floating platform
Narrator.
with you. His face is creased by so many wrinkles that his features lie buried amid shadowy pockets of skin. Still, the dwarf's well-practiced habits have left telltale tracks of a welcoming rictus across his visage.
Basically, he has spent so much time smiling that this is quite literally burnt into his face by old age. And I'm looking a bit ghosty.
You can see his smile coming before it blooms, reshaping the dwarf's face from a hanging sack of flesh into something resembling an oddly carved merry gourd, replete with unhealthy bumps and discolored splotches.
Now that sounds healthy. Hello, Mr. Giraffe.
The creases of the dwarf's face tighten into a smile as he gives you a courteous nod.
So basically you don't really want to talk to me, is what you're saying. Well, I guess, time to meet my destiny, eh? Who's going to actually wait for my destiny? I've forgotten. I'm sure it's one of the gods. That's the Pale Knight, isn't it? Isn't that one of, what's his name? The god of death and the wheel himself. Which would be fitting. Oh, also he has a skeleton thingy, so I'm assuming that is Berat? Was it bad? I was actually expecting kind of Hylia because we kind of helped her, you know, doing things in the last one. Okay, so this is still working. I'm not too happy about the... like this. This. Kind of want to help the narrator a bit, you know. Honestly, the reactive music thing, I want to try it, but I'm not too sure about it yet, so I will leave it off for the moment so we can listen to the tracks. And then later on we will maybe try it in one of the future episodes, you know. Safe.
Sit. Please.
Don't want to. You can't force me. You are just a mighty, mighty being. Ooh, I get a tutorial. Click on highlighted objects, interact with them. Each type of object has its own type of basic interaction. Doors will open or close, locked object will be unlocked. Items will be picked up. People in the world will speak with you and enemies will be attacked.
With mechanical stiffness, the dwarf tilts his head and silently gestures toward the empty chair.
Sit. Please.
You're not going to talk to me without it, are you?
Sit. Please.
Okay, if you don't leave me a choice, I shall sit. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, Watcher of Cadnua.
Oh, we get little context
The
to
gaunt
these.
woman seated at the table is clad in time-worn black armor that seems too massive for her to move in.
Yeah, she's the Pale Knight. We're absolutely into the realm of Berath here. Which means, technically speaking, we should be dead, because otherwise we should not be able to meet him. Well, technically speaking. Let's not think about that too much.
A pale, slender neck rises from the gorget, topped by a hollow face. The milky skin stretched across it is delicate and translucent, like parchment that has been scraped clean too many times.
Well, I mean, she is definitely not just, you know, your normal
She's
life woman.
preoccupied with the arrangement of cards on the table between you. With each movement, her armor squeaks and groans as though bearing an incredible weight. She places a final card, gives a nod of satisfaction, and raises her eyes to meet yours.
Okay, that's not very nice, you know, don't just continue doing. Let me give you a bit of a good old thing from a, you know, salesman. Basically said, when you have a customer, you should not just continue doing little things, you should actually acknowledge his presence.
Your brush with the divine has drained you of your powers, fractured your memories. Look upon these cards. They represent the courses of your life. You alone know best how they flowed. Arrange them to fit what you remember.
Examine the cards to choose your legacy. Oh, right, the legacy system. Basically, this is how the decisions you made in the first Pillars of Eternity, because this is quite literally a continuous game, is... rather... is recognized in this one. And there are some places, quite a few actually, where your choices will be remembered. The good ones, the bad ones, the not so good ones. And here you can basically choose either a preset. These ones here, where it's like Benevolent Soul, where you have been a good person, a fair and balanced, where you have, you know, gone for fairness. Survival of the Fittest, if you have been, you know, using strength basically everywhere, Dark Times. But not so good, the Keeper of Secrets, everything bad. And you can import your save. Can we? Yes, we can. Act 4, 11 months, 1 day and 6 hours. Now I want you to think about this, just for a little bit. What that means is that even in-game time for the first Pillars of Eternity, our journey throughout all of the 4 acts has taken us, without excessive, mind you, really without excessive resting, it's taken us a year, almost. 11 months, 1 day, so you could say quite literally 11 full months. That's impressive. I'm just gonna say this. And now, since I've actually, you know, because as usual I use this time also to clean my pipe, put this away, let's focus on our journey.
Does everything appear to be in order?
Yes, I remember what I did and it was
Good.
good.
Welcome to the Beyond.
Well,
I am
thanks.
Berath,
You're
What
not.
path anyway?
See?
She points a finger in the direction of the dwarf who led you here. Though the movement is slight, her gauntlet squeaks like a rusty hinge.
You know, if you're actually going to wear heavy fucking armor all the time, maybe take some care of it. I'm just saying, you know, it otherwise could be a problem movement-wise after a while. Oh, sorry. My little scratchy thingies. Stay where you are, little tool. You need to hang off that, because you need to get clean.
The dwarf's rictus returns as he nods in the woman's
So
direction.
basically we have Barras 1 and Barras 2, and of course they are, well, opposing sides of the same coin. They are man and woman, scribe to warrior. They are probably a very nice description. You could probably go up very deep here. Or like, yes, I can already see all of the coolness and yada yada yada. It's not, because Barrett is probably not our best friend. We didn't really help him.
The gods offered you boons in exchange for resolving the Hollowborn crisis. What did you do with the souls?
You vote to aid Hylera. Now, if you remember in last episode, we did precisely what we had promised to her. We had restored the souls to the Hollowborn. Kinda nice. Because we had different options. Return the souls to the wheel was, I think, that was basically Barrett's idea. Restore the souls to the Hollowborn were the idea of Hylera, the motherly goddess. Strengthen the souls of the Direwolf was the idea of the team of around Abaddon and his allies, including Magran. So we didn't choose this because fuck Magran, basically. Disintegrated the souls. That was the idea of the other side, the trio led by the other big player gods, the other team. I forget their names. I think actually the Beast is part of that, and the Ice Guy, Rimgrand and stuff, basically. Destroy them and let the energies flow free, basically. Disperse the souls randomly, that was the idea of a whale. So basically, you know, following in his idea of a good fun time. Just send them wherever and see what happens. And the last option was to actually give the souls to Vodka, which we of course did not do, because Vodka is directly affiliated with the Latin Key and its oh so great leader, which we had a bit of hate boner for. But yes, we restored the souls to the Hollowborn.
Tell me, do you remember when we last met?
Well, of course. Yes, in the Hall of Stars in Twin Elms.
You came to that tower seeking our aid.
Because I didn't have a choice. To be
You
fair.
prayed for help in reaching Theos,
I did.
beyond the Court of Penitence, but would not pledge yourself to me.
No, I did pledge myself to Hylia.
Still, a pledge unmade stands fairer in this court than a pledge broken.
Yeah, pretty obvious. I didn't promise you shit, so you can't really, you know, piss me off because of that. And go ahead and be like, but, you can't do this. No, I haven't broken my word. I'm sure not. Then again, you are not gods. You are just very powerful beings. But technically speaking, we have options, don't we?
She places a card in the middle of the arrangement. A bell tower with no bell. Her fingertips slowly drag away from the card, faintly creaking as they retreat across the table.
You had need of the gods once before. Now it seems we have need of you.
Well, that sounds like a bad deal, doesn't it? A very bad deal at that.
The being that occupied Odnua's statue beneath your castle was the dead god, Aothus. Of this we are certain. What we do not know is what his intentions are.
That doesn't make any sense. That was a statue of Odnua. And as much as I hate to say it, but we had more than enough trouble with dealing with that, so yeah, now. One or the other doesn't really have much to do with each other. Actually, before we continue, I actually need to do something, so give me 1 second when I click around like an idiot. Okay, let's see, do I need to kill your sound? No, your sound is already dead. Good.
Though Aothus stole a large fragment of your soul,
What?
you were strong enough to survive the onslaught and enter the in-between.
How the fuck did he steal something of my soul? Was that what happened when he attacked? Is that it, basically?
You and he are still connected. He has chosen a body made of living Audra, perfused with the power of thousands of souls, including yours. It should be little difficulty for an experienced watcher to find him.
Okay. Am I dead then?
No. But neither is your body truly alive.
Well, great, I'm a zombie.
Your lungs draw breath, your heart pumps blood.
Okay, no zombie.
But your flesh is as soulless as a hollowborn. That is, until I return you.
Let me see here. I think it's working. Making it difficult for me, you know, but I do need to kind of take a look here. I hate doing that while I'm live, but well, better safe than sorry, as they say. You know, I don't want to make any overt mistakes. No. Okay, everything seems to be just fine. It's always fun when you start something new. You kind of have to take, you know, a look left, a look right, just to make sure that everything works somewhat pleasing.
She delicately places a card upright on the table. The art depicts souls flowing out of a pillar of Audra.
Well, you know, I've had pretty much enough of dealing with the gods. All of you, in fact, at this point. So why should I care about any of this, apart from the fact that he has taken my soul, which is the whole point.
Did you care for the souls of the Deerwood who clung to you as they stumbled blindly through the in-between?
Bitch, please, I'm trying my very best. I was in a situation that was pretty hard to deal with, and you were like, couldn't you have done better?
You are a beacon to all of the lost, Watcher. Your soul gleams as brightly to them as Audra itself.
For a moment, there is a glint in the blackness of her eyes. A flash of wondrous recollection.
Also, my dear people, I know, but don't get used to this skank of a narrator. I shall take over that duty myself once again, once she finally shuts up. Nobody shall take my power as the narrator of this story.
Those who have fallen in Aethys's wake are trapped inside him still.
Ah, great.
If you will not help them, who will?
Bitch, please, at least pay me for my trouble. You know, I'm a fucking mercenary. If you offer me a good job, I will take it. Don't just expect me to fucking hand out things to you. Not for a good reason.
If that doesn't convince you, I can always return you to the wheel and find someone else to pursue him.
Right. You're quite literally threatening me at this point. The fucking god of that who should be impartial is actually threatening me. For fuck's sake, I'm fucked, aren't I? Right. I have two choices here. Either I sit back down and basically die for good and be returned to the wheel to be reborn at some point without any memories. Or if I want to continue life, which is a very humane thing to do, basically the only choice humans would make in this part, is to actually accept an impossible task. Because you're quite literally wanting me to kill Eosas again, isn't it? Just that now he has a fucking giant Audra statue. Ah, I hate the gods. Oh, I fucking hate the gods. And you wonder why I fucking hate the gods. This is precisely it. This is why I hate them. They are supposedly the most powerful beings around, even if they are not technically gods, but as we learned the last time, they're basically just the Angwithians who have, you know, they use their overpowerful technology to make themselves godlike. And they do shit all. And we, the poor little mortal, now has to do all the shit. Well. All the bitching morning aside, let's get on with this nonsense.
Good.
Yeah, fuck you too.
Before you return to Aora as my herald,
Which I'm
you
not.
must remember who you were, the last whisper of life and death.
For a moment, the sockets of her eyes darken, leaving the pits of a death's head gazing out at you.
Could you not do that? It's kinda, you know, scary.
When you can picture your own face, the beyond will lead you back to your own kind, to the world of mortals.
Ooh. Actually, and this is one of those situations, you might remember this from the last Pillars of Eternity when we actually jumped into the pit where that basically leads you to the end game area. You do it without having spoken with the gods, and how we get a nice little end of the game there. This is one of those situations where you can do it too, just at the beginning. Basically, if at this point you're like, you can't threaten me and I'm going to not do anything, she's quite literally ending the game for you. You know. I will probably showcase that to you at, some case in the future when I'm feeling in the mood for a bit of a joke. Before we start playing after we finish, basically. But, yeah. Just for you as the potential viewers, you get a bit of an advantage for the future. Yet you can see it coming and not be surprised. And you can be like, haha, I knew what would happen. Bam! Now then. Let's see, is this character creation? Choose a primate character to start with and modify it as you like, or create a brand new character. What character? Who do we have to choose from? Kesker, level 1 wizard, a fire god like Endry, Felder, Liam and Mabel, Kamin, Pradin, Shingrin, Jamademba Demba, Suruna Vuti. None of those are not mine. She doesn't exist, sadly, as an importable character. Okay, people, are you ready? Are you willing? Are you listening? We shall once again wield the hammer over the forge. We shall once again create it. Our own little hero. What is that button? The zoom button. Starting once again with the iron. Heating it and bringing it into form to become a sword that we shall wield throughout our next adventure. A long adventure it shall be. But taking a bit of, time to do it right is probably how we should do it. Place of man in society varies from culture to culture, but we don't care, because we're going to be a female. You look nothing like you are supposed to, woman. I'm disappointed in you already. We need to change this, all of this. This all needs to go, you need to be remade. Reforged into a weapon. Not necessarily of good, though. Of the rational, of a good rational. A female, a woman in Eora is largely dependent on where she's from. In all society there are exceptions to the rule, of course, and women can be found in a wide variety of stations and professions. Yes, as we all know, we also know where she's going to end up with. Now, I always love it when people are like, you have all of these choices, you could be in Omoa, I go like, well, I look fucking fugly as sin, I can be a dwarf. No, dwarfs are cool, but only as, male fighters with long beards, because that's cool. Elves are just gay. Honestly, I don't like the knife-yard populism, so I'm not going to play one. I would lose my interest in playing them fucking fast. The godlike are basically like elementals from the D&D universe. You can calculate here with that one, Let me say it like this. At some point in this one's bloodline, some of the ancestors saw, a fire elemental and was like, that's actually hot. And I mean that not in a physical sense as in hot like fire. I mean that my loins are burning for lust for this particular fire elemental. And they had, lots of hot and very, very hot, steaming smexy times, and voila, you get this. How that works physically, let's not ask ourselves that question, shall we not? Do you want me to read you? Why not, actually? The mighty Aumaua are the largest of the cave races that are commonly found on the oceans. Though not truly aquatic, they have an affinity for water, and many of the civilizations, such as Rawatai, are based on naval dominance. They are known for the unparalleled strength. They are. But they look fugly. They're basically half-orcs, okay? This gives me a good opportunity to talk once again about how this game uses its own system of races and world build, the world build that they build up and stuff, and nice and cool. But it's basically still based on the classical D&D system. By virtue of land covered, a number of colonies settled, dwarf are most well-traveled race in the world. They are commonly found in the Direwood, the Valian republics, and almost any colonized land. Dwarves are known for their great strength and tenacity, which you can see here. They do lose 1 point in dexterity though. The Knifiers are the dominant race, in their mind, at least in Eglanfer and the White, that wins. They are extremely common in the Direwood and the Deer, because I wasn't there to prevent it. Knifiers are known for their speed and intelligence. Yeah, they have trimmed that up themselves and have made it with crayons on the wall. As well as commonly a shellish nature, which is true. Basically they're little cunts that like to sit on their own and abandon everybody else. Ever since Tolkien wrote them, they have been kind of bitchy about it, and, well, let's just say, there's a slave trade for the knife-yet populace, and I have little mercy with them, actually. I say that I have not many favors in my books. We got like a children of the Kith, the so-called civilized races we know, and that's just their word for, you know, humankind, just if you don't want to say humankind, because there's more than just humans here. Who have been blessed with physical aspects associated with the gods, which are not real, though some do not consider it a blessing. It is obvious, actually, there's actually gods of death. I remember how horrible that looks. These aspects may take many forms and often come with mystical powers. Apparent head shapes are typical, and godlike are unable to wear protective headgear, as it is near impossible to find anything that fits. Or doesn't, you know, melt. Because of their unusual appearance and their inability to reproduce, godlike are often viewed with fear and wonder. And it's a curse, you can't... I mean, I understand that you probably wouldn't find anyone who would want to reproduce with you, but still. That you can't is just... that's cruel. Now the Orlets, I don't like the looks, honestly, they look a bit too hairy for my personal taste, but they're basically, you know, advanced hobbits. They don't just have a lot of, you know, hair on their feet, they actually have it all over. But ever since Hira was in Pillars of Eternity once showed me the delight of the druid class and his special ways of dealing with things, I have been very much a fan. Not as a player character, but as a, you know, companion, I very much can see myself getting one. Not as a romance option, though, if that is even a thing, because... no, there's just too much fucking hair everywhere. Sorry, but that's not... I'm not into that place. Orlans are the smallest of the Kith races, though many cultures don't consider them to be civilized at all. Also notable for their large ears, two-toned skin, and hair-stud bodies, Orlans are commonly found in Erglanfell, the Xemital Plains, and parts of the Direwatch. They're known for their mental intensity and sharp senses. Ugh. Nothing I would invite into that. This, well, you're not my type, mind you, but well, at least we have the same species. Humans, commonly called folk, are the most common race in the Direwatch, the Adir Empire, Old Valia, and the Valiant Republics. Though not as large as the towering Omawa, humans are known for their strength and willpower. Yes, we are awesome. You know how there's a joke around how the most commonly played archetype basically in every sort of RPG is the white male knight character? Are you actually surprised? It's about a self-insert, and I think many people would like to play something that resembles them at least somewhat. While the other races are cool for different reasons and for role-playing reasons, mind you, if you really want to immerse yourself, you're probably going to play something that is reasonably close to what you are. Pretty damn obvious if you ask me. Now, let's see here. The Savannah folk, the Nathalan, come originally from just south of the equator, north of the Eastern Reach. They've largely remained in the same location for over 10,000 years. It's impressive they have settled in a good area then. The name Minalan literally means original. While quite common in Xemital, Red Ceres, and other countries of the Eastern Reach, they are a rare breed in the old empires and the Deadfire Archipelago. All of them have an indomitable spirit that rises to challenge when things look grim. Whenever folk is below bloodied or near death, they gain a bonus to accuracy in death. I think in the first Pillars of Eternity it was actually below 50% health. Or, well, endurance basically was how they called it. And 25. So basically you gain 2 bonus steps. Once you have below 50% and once you have below 25% you get the bonus to accuracy and damage. Which is true for all of them. As you can see, they all have the fighting spirits in the same way. And with the ocean folk, the Kalbandra, originated near the equator at the western edge of the old empires and have gradually spread south and east. Ocean folk are the dominant cultures of Old Valia, the Valiant Republics, and can be found in most other parts of the world, due to reach of the Valiant trading companies. They also all get the same bonus because they're all human. The Meadowfolk, or Zeraten, came from an ancient civilization in the northern hemisphere and gradually migrated south into the equatorial jungles of Adir over several millennia. They're commonly found in Adir as well as Adir's former and colonial territories, Red Ceres and the Direwatch. Now you might have forgotten, but this nice little blonde here was the basis of our character. Little player chump was a Meadowfolk, and she shall of course be once again one of them. Would you like to make a single class or multi-class character? Single characters are entirely focused on their chosen class. They gain access to higher level powers and more quickly. Oh, fuck yeah, I've forgotten about this. I had actually completely forgotten that this is a thing. You see, the Dungeon and Dragon system has always had the idea of multi and in some cases, and at least as far as the game is concerned, multi and dual classing actually, which basically allows you to incorporate two classes. In some cases just, you know, a base class and a prestige class, in other cases just two base classes into your character, making you very much a completely new sort of beast and allowing for some very fun and overpowered combinations. I will admit, since I haven't really played Pillars of Eternity to such a degree and I haven't really been active in the community as such, that I have not much of an idea of what would make a good multi-class. I could look it up, and I'm pretty sure also the Paladin that we have been playing could probably be enhanced quite a bit in some cases, but... See, this is the problem. When I say that I will continue playing basically the same character, it wouldn't really make sense to suddenly wake up in the beginning of the second one and be another class, or be changed in some way. You can probably make a reasonable story up for yourself how to explain this, but it would kinda not feel right. So while I may be, you know, somewhat cucking myself out of some nice power gains here, it would probably make quite a bit of a nice difference. I think we're going to stay with the single class, but remember, technically speaking, you can play the second Pillars of Eternity without ever having played the first one. You can. And maybe just for trying out the multi-class system, you might actually want to do this. Just, you know, as a bit of food for thought for you. You can, you should maybe, but we are going to be a single class. As you can see, class-wise not much has changed. We still get all of the good ones. The Barbarian, the Chanter, as you remember, Kana was a Chanter. We had Maneha, the Aomoa Barbarian. I did really like to play with her. He was a pretty good one, all throughout. We had the Gulivi Mother, which was a Cypher. Basically a bit of a magic rook character kind of combination. The druid, you remember he wears and his lightning spells? Yeah, that sort of nasty. Your classical fighter, Idea. A monk, Zamua, the one who had a bit of a, you know, tendency to be on drugs all the time. A priesty, well, you know, we do now our priest. He had a lot of endurance and his name was Durance. Had a bit of a problem with, well, his goddess. I kinda denounced her at the end of the game, but well. Ranger, Sangini, the one who was looking for Persok, the one from her village. A classic rook, our devil of Kartok, I think. I'm not too good with that sort of naming. But our devil, you know, the one who had a bronze body. And of course, wizard, Aluf. Now as you know, wizards have tentacles, druids have lightning, priests have all of the good healing stuff and some other shots nonsense. I want to have them all, once again. Now, I don't remember much about the companions. I do think some of the old ones actually come back, so that's fortunate. But we, of course, will be here again. Paladins are martial zealots, devoted to a god, a ruler, or even a way of life. They can be found in any culture where a fanatical group of like-minded individuals have formed a warrior society dedicated to advancing their cause. Among those aligned to their worldview, paladins are viewed with respect and admiration, if a bit of fear. Many paladins hold leadership positions in armies and mercenary companies, but in the heat of battle their fanaticism often overrules the chain of command and common sense. Basically, they're like, bitch please, I have a fucking grail of protection on my ass and I'm going to walk through this fucking trench if you want me to or not. I actually do like that they're like major role support, minor role defender. Those are not necessarily words you have here. Basically, what this means is a tank. Why they're not using the word tank, I don't know. You could have just, you know, used common use terms to make it easier for people to understand, but you get it. Basically, you are a second line tank. You are a off tank, so to speak, if you want to reuse the official lingo of most MMOs. You're not supposed to be the first one in line. You're not supposed to, you know, handle all of the damage. You are supposed to be the offense that takes over, and it takes basically the overflow. So the idea goes, at least. Review ability tree. Let's actually see here. divine immolation. Light of pure zeal. A blast of divine light drops down from above and falls down around the paladin. The light heals all nearby allies and burns enemies, vessels, and spirits for a tremendous amount of damage. They have changed a bit of the things. There are a few new things, and basically now we have actually, you know, an overview where you can see how the change actually works. Do you remember the Zealous Aura? Oh boy. I will admit this, you know, I was really looking forward to this Friday, and I'm looking forward to this, honestly, quite a bit, because this is going to be fun. It's going to be one hell of a long journey again, but it's also going to be one hell of a fun ride. And when I sat down, I actually made myself a bit of a baguette and was sitting here with some giddy anticipation, like, this is going to be fun. I mean, sure, I've pretty much wasted, I don't know, like 45 minutes at this point just for character creation, but really gets you going in the mood, a good bit of this. Bam, a paladin. Now, as you know, paladins come in a very much different ranks. These are all the usual, basically it's the orders. Different paladin orders, you know? So we have the Bleak Walkers. Dreaded for the mercilessness and cruelty, paladins of the Bleak Walkers believe that extreme brutality in warfare brings conflict to a swift close. It does. Overwhelming force shown at the right time will make sure your enemy will not fight back. Or hacken their ability to do so by destroying their chain of command from the top down. Granted a reputation for unrelenting savagery, the Bleak Walkers never give quarter and never abandon the field, even if their employees command them to. And that's actually the problem, as you might remember from that one quest with the dwarf. He just mentioned that he wants somebody killed, and the Bleak Walker took the job, and he was not to be convinced to stop doing it at all. Now, they all have bonuses, as you can see, different bonuses. The Bleak Walkers gain Flames of Devotion, deals additional corroded damage, because it's not normal blue flames, but it's black flames, because they're edgy boys. And applies the second affliction, which is basically this is very close to the idea of a blackguard, an evil paladin equivalent. And we have the Darkosi Paladini, the oldest known paladin order in the world. The Darkosi Paladini were founded as the guards of the Darkosi Palace in Grand Valia over 2000 years ago. Since the shattering of Grand Valia, the Darkosi Paladini have transformed into the protectors and ambassadors of the immense Darkosi family, as well as old Valian culture. The Darkosi Paladini are widespread and occasionally even come into conflict with each other due to the machinations of the Darkosi family. Happens. Paladins of the Order are renowned for their wit and love of life. They gain a bonus to Lay on Hands. Lay on Hands grants a minor flame shield to the target. Now, flame shield, you probably, if you start this game, doesn't know what it is, but it's basically a defensive sort of potion you can drink. Let's actually keep this for last. The Kind Wayfarers, a charitable order of knights errant who assist troubled travelers and celebrate kindness, condemning deception and malice even when dealing with their enemies. The ranks of the Kind Wayfarers are filled with kith of all races and from all cultures. They can be found in any part of the Old Empire's Eastern region, even the Deadfire. They gain a bonus to Flames of Devotion, heal, in this case, because it's the White Flames. This is closest as it can get to the classical idea of the good paladin, I guess. Not really though the D&D idea, because in the D&D universe the paladin is a lawful good character by nature. He's bound to that. Lawful good means precisely what it means. He needs to be a good one, so this is fitting, yes. He would be somewhat a kind wayfarer, but he's also bound by law. Quite literally, he has no choice. Otherwise he can't be paladin. So while I would say that this is the closest to being, you know, the classical D&D paladin from its descriptive, and this is the Bleak Walkers are the closest to the Blackguard, they are not necessarily where they are. And we have the Shield Bearers of Sankt Elkgar, a paladin order of Adrian warriors who emphasize honesty and diplomacy over cruelty and aggression. The Shield Bearers were founded in honor of an elven noble, so they're out of the rail of the ruling and the choosing anyway, because elven noble who helped unite the Adir and Kulklin kingdoms after long war. They also get a bonus to the Lay on Hands, prevents death when cast on other allies. When equipped with a shield, +1 engagement. And we have the Steel Garrod. I think those are new. We hadn't had those in the first pillars, I think. The Steel Garrod is a Fiat Paladin order, dedicated to Vodika. You are out of the running already because Vodika is a fucking bitch. I hate that fucking woman. Goddess. Technically woman, but you know. I don't want to confuse people even further. Just imagine you're new. You're coming into here and you hear me rambling about the how to actually call that a woman or a goddess, and you're like, what the fuck is he even talking about? Because you probably haven't watched all of the episodes of the first one. I'm sorry if I confuse you sometimes, you know. They're all in good faith, but I can't incorporate everything. They work with powerful individuals and business interests to hunt down those who violate contracts. Especially if said contracts were endorsed by a priestess of the exiled queen. They were founded in the Edo Empire and are active throughout the region, branching out as far as the Direwood and the Valian Republics. Bonus, heal for a portion of the damage dealt to afflicted targets and gain Garrote ability. Choke the target. How surprising. You're basically trying to rip off the poor little Agent 47, aren't you? Well, no, they're out of the running for obvious reasons, because I don't want to serve Vodka in any sort of fucking gruff. No. Now we come to the ones, the true ones. Mercenaries with a solemn reverence for the sanctity of contracts. Gold-packed knights fulfill their obligations with emotional, unwavering commitment and without moral judgment. Bonus, gains sworn enemy. Sworn enemy gains the upgrade Gilded Enmity, which causes the paladin to be imbued with a blessing of gold when they declare a sworn enemy. Paladin receives a bonus armor rating until struck enough times for the gold to break. That sounds interesting, I will admit. It is a nice one to the sworn enemy. Basically, that means that I can get very much closer to being a main tank for a short while with this ability. We shall take it. And of course, as for the initial abilities, since I basically will do it like the same time, I will choose the Flames of Devotions, our standard, if not overly often used, ability to call down the Flames of Heaven. Calls upon the paladins in a fire, causing their equipped weapon to burst into flame as they strike, getting burn damage. And we're not going to get any black or white flame to it because we are just here for the money. An honest, but money-seeking person. Now, as for the points, I will probably set this up to pretty much the same way I did it the last time. Reducing hostile defense durations as well as improving building deflection defenses, reflecting internal drive. I think we set this up like... this gives me the area of effect, right? Ability duration, yes, and will protection. That's accuracy and reflex. Accuracy is very important still. Bit of dexterity, so we get some action speed out of that. I think we had some constitution, and I think we had... well, I need more might. Honestly, this is not bad, but it will kinda end up being, I mean, this is not like D&D where you have to basically go to an even one to get a bonus. Basically where 12 would be a +1. This doesn't have this system, so I guess 15 is okay. We can enhance it later on. Basically, I want to go for pretty much the same we had before, and then beforehand we kind of focused resolve, while wasn't all it was meant to be, honestly. It didn't really work that well, so you don't really get that much use out of more deflection at will, because you can get those defenses through abilities too, with quite a bit of it. Intelligence for the area of effect and the ability duration makes sense for Paladin. We have a few of those, especially the area of effect things and stuff like this. Perception for the accuracy. Honestly, yeah, you need the accuracy, because otherwise you're not gonna hit shit. Quite frankly. Dexterity for action speed. The more action speed you have, the faster you can attack, and also, as you can see, we already get reflex and stuff, so, you know. Then we have Constitution, a bit of extra health, 10% in this case. Very fitting for a tank, if you ask me. And technically speaking, what I want as an off-tank is also the ability to deal damage, which means I need might. Because might makes right. To some degree. I'm pretty sure this is not an ideal setup, and honestly, I might actually redo it at some point. But, yeah, I'm going to take this for the moment as it is. Now then, where are you from? What options do we have? We have the Edo Empire, one of the most prominent old empires of the West. The centers around the equator, it has a tropical climate. The nation of Adir is at its heart and houses the majority of its human and elven populace. So everybody lives there. Getcha. Adir was once a powerful colonial force, but the loss of Red Ceres and the Dire Wood reduced its stature. Adirians are common in the Eastern Reach, but rare in the Deadfire Archipelago, which gives me a bit more resolve. Then we have the Deadfire Archipelago. The Deadfire Archipelago marks the eastern edge of the known world, so the old world, dominantly populated by island Aumua, who make up the tribes of the Huana. The chain of hundreds of islands spans thousands of miles. The Deadfire contains myriad climates and biomes that are home to a bewildering array of creatures. The last century has brought ambitious colonial traders, explorers, and pirates to the Deadfire. The travel east of the archipelago is blocked by the destructive storms of Ondra's Mortar. Ondra being a bitch about it again, hiding stuff from people. Legends among the Huana speak of an ancient cataclysm that devastated their people thousands of years ago. Details of this event have been lost to time, but Huana storytellers claim that it destroyed everything they had built, sinking even the greatest of their cities beneath the waves. Which sounds like a lie, because if everything had been destroyed, you would be dead, and not be able to tell tales about it. The Ixamital Plains. Located north of Red Ceres in the Eastern Reach, the Ixamital Plains are a large expanse of fertile savannas that are extensively farmed by its savanna folk and all-land residents. The Ixamital culture is one of the oldest in the world, though one of the least imperialistic. Surprising, actually, that one, having spread out a little over the past several thousand years. Ixamital society places a strong emphasis on learning and scholarship and honors their philosophers and literati. Most people that are not at least somewhat imperialistic in their history tend to get lost to time because they then get, counter-invaded basically. Old Valyar. Once the crown jewel of the Southern Seas, Old Valyar is now the crumbled remnants of an empire of varying merchant nations. Counting many humans and dwarves among the ranks, the old Valian countries are still forces to be reckoned with, and are proud of their rich cultural heritage. As southernmost of the old empires, Old Valyar suffered a similar fate to the northern neighbors, the Adarians, in losing the most prosperous colonial territories, the Valian republics. Oh, that sucks. Many Old Valians in the Deadfire Archipelago are associated with the Principi Sen Patrena, a vast coalition of pirates. I do like that I can just, go over here and get more lore. I do like it. Honestly, I more like it when they actually do either a physical book, which is really nice, because nobody does that anymore because that costs money on end. Would you have, a little physical book that you can do open and you can read things up, nice. Or at least, have a nice little compendium kind of thing in-game. Going to India, no families packed up their households, sailed across, blah blah blah. Over time, their old world traditions evolved into new identity as the Principi Sen Patrena, and you have taken your bloody language with you. The Principles for the Homeland, a loosely connected and regulated organization of pirates. Okay. The Rawatai, the powerful naval kingdoms of Rawatai, is dominated by Koshal Aumoa. I don't want to be over under them, they're basically half-orcs, ruled by Ranganui. Only the most prosperous of the old empires. The Rawatai is expanded aggressively into the Deadfire Archipelago to secure natural resources that are scarce on their native, storm-torn land. Although folk, dwarves and ornaments can be found in the Rawatai, most are merchant or remnants of the old kingdoms. Rawatai conquered when they seized power centuries ago. Legends say the Rawatanians came to their lands from the Deadfire Archipelago in the wake of a terrible cataclysm. The details of that event have been lost to time, and the imagination of storytellers. I see. The Living Lands is the mountainous region of the large northern island, renowned for its diversity of plant and animal life. Its weather is unpredictable, and its ecosystems vary dramatically from valley to valley. The Living Lands are home to an assortment of races in a variety of colonial and independent settlements. And the White Dead Winds, large cracked southern expanse of polar ice. The White Dead Winds is home to pale elves. Knife ears. And small colonies of daring explorers, outcasts, and adventurers. While virtually no plant life grows in the White, it is home to many hardy species of dangerous animals that forage from the sea or prey upon each other to survive. Since this is basically the remake of my teaching notes of the character from our first little Pillars of Eternity playthrough, we are of course going to once again be part of the Living Lands. I mean, also it gives me a nice might bonus, which, you know, I find somewhat enjoyable. And what was your job? Were we a colonist? Part of a group rather, that found a fledgling colony. Drifter. I mean, do I really have to explain to you what a drifter is? Basically, somebody who travels from town to town without ever taking root. An explorer, you know, so going into the unknown lands, cartographing things and making it, you know, finding out what lies beyond the horizon. Life as a hunter, a thrill of the chase. Simple laborer person. Trained and prepared, hoping to hone your skills and apply your trade. Or, of course, what we once were. A mercenary. As you can already see here, there's something new here. Streetwise, athletics, and intimidate. Because, well, the second bit of opportunity has overworked a bit, so we kind of have to get used to it. But yeah, merchant and scientist, pretty damn obvious. We're going to be a mercenary once again. Because, well, that is precisely what we were before. It's a remake of that particular one. Now, weapon types. We need to actually choose weapon types now, and I hate that like the fucking plague. You probably not surprised by that. Kinda as you see when you look at my playthrough of the first one, I hate binding myself to a specific weapon type, because I always fear that I will lose out on a better weapon in another group, basically. Yeah, I think for our first type what we're going to do is this. Using probably small shield and a combination of one-handed weapon, and next in line I'm gonna want to learn a two-handed weapon. Or we do it the other way around, we first learn a two-handed weapon and go from there. Both are pretty good options, honestly. That's kinda how our little one was set up in the last time. Now, since at the beginning of the game we probably will have lots of options, I think starting with a two-handed one is probably not a bad idea. Niche is vulnerable to make powerful the driving attacks with your stock, gaining penetration at the cost of deflection. It's a great word with massive increasing damage at the cost of accuracy. Direct strikes towards the body, dealing less damage but lowering the target's fortitude. Spikes reach. Oh right, we're actually distinctive here. We have a pike, we have the poleaxe, and we have the quarterstaff. All with different things. A half sword. Fight in a close quarter style, using your blade to penetrate armor more effectively at the cost of lower deflection. The saber, the rapier, mace, hatchet, flail, club, battle axe, dagger. I mean, honestly, short is where it's at, isn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong, something like the rapier could also be nice. Actually, since, let's actually go for another one. Let's go and do it like this. Basically, be somewhat good. I mean, all we're going to lose is anyway the ability, but, so basically savage attack and half sword style. That could be interesting, and I kind of want to set it up that it makes sense to me. So basically, you'd be trained in weapons and not necessarily in shields. If that makes sense. Because technically speaking, I don't think a shield is counted as a weapon normally. It's part of your armor. Well, there are some, you know, techniques to different shield types. It's... honestly, we are basically more of a damage dealer than a tank, although we kind of ended up as being quite a bit of a tank, and... you know, those are the game things. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I'm okay with this. It's a bit of a risk to take, but the shield abilities are not really, you know... I would never use a heavy shield anyway, because that lowers your recovery time and your accuracy quite a bit. Medium is probably the highest I would go, but usually for this particular character, also because I kind of want to really be a continuous one, You know, more than a butler she's probably not ever going to have anyway. Eh. Portrait time, portrait time. Look whose portrait is here. Of course it is. Were you expecting anything else? I wasn't. I absolutely wasn't. Now then, close colors. She does have a bit of gold there, but honestly it's really not that easy to get that over. Basically a bit of the grey style, isn't it? A very whitish skin color. Hair color. Looks good. Oh, 1 second. I actually need to look at something for a moment. I know. I do this quite often lately, but not like I have much chance. Where did I... Oh no, why? Why isn't this loaded yet? Ah, that's strange. Give me a second while I look here. Yeah, I think she was okay. Now then, now we have once again a problem. Technically she has, I think, golden eyes. Which you of course don't have. Which means I'm probably going to go for steely grey eyes. Next. Hat. Wow. Wow. Guess the first one it's gonna be. Nope, 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 nope. 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 Not really giving me many options. Wow, nope. I don't know what it is with people doing this sort of nonsense with their hair. I was never a fan, but you know, who am I? And all of that. Guess this is the closest we are going to get. Cocky.
I'll go on ahead.
After him! Stand together! Let us end this!
Onward!
Kill them all!
Show him how it's done. Easy does it. Right here.
Take him down!
I guess this is it.
I've got your back!
Go for the eyes, Trink.
You're mine!
Let's go!
Finish them!
Attack.
They all sound horrible, doesn't
I'll
it?
teach you a...
Yeah.
Quickly and quietly. Yeah, I've got this.
You'd better run. Nothing will slip past.
Hmm.
Ready when you are. I'll lead the way.
Yeah! Quietly now. What can I do? I'm flattered.
Ah!
Silence surrounds me. Oh? I shall lead us.
Charge!
Let's keep quiet. Leading the way. Attack. The better part.
Bring them down!
A blade in the dark. Well,
It's really
now
difficult,
I'm
isn't it?
leader of the group. I'll take a peek. Yeah? I got this.
Let's go!
Steady does it. Yeah?
After him!
My eyes are peeled.
Okay, yes, feisty it's
I've
gonna
got
be.
this.
Not ideally, but well, what can you do? Pose. Heroic. Punched. Roguish. Sassy. Like, yes, this is just rude because, well, you know. But this is sassy. Stoic. Sullen. You don't look so much sullen as you're trying to look sullen. But sickly. You... Okay, now you're doing something. An erudite. No, you just look like an asshole now. Yes, 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 of course. You gonna pray? Well, we can be drunk. You don't look too drunk, honestly. I was expecting a bit more swaying. Energetic. Oh, now we have both hands on hips, eh? And savage. You know what? Give me the sassy one. Just because I fucking can, basically. I can't put the fucking game. Why would you change this? I can't do any. I can't put numbers in, and I can't put why game? The first one didn't have any problem with it, and suddenly it's like nope. I mean, I'm used to this sort of writing for it, but I don't really know why they changed it, honestly. That's already a change I'm not too happy with. Then again, let's see, how much do we end up? Yeah, we end up with 16 because we get 1 point from being living lands. We have 16 perception because of the accuracy bonus that we want to have. But honestly, that's most important. Then we have our abilities. We have raise and convictions. And gilded enmity. Yeah, those cuntish things. Basically, they have kind of changed things around a bit. You have a few more active skills now, like, you know, alchemy, arcane. Athletics is something we knew from before, because we already had that. Basically, what you had in the first one is that you wanted to have athletics 5 of everyone, because otherwise your characters would get tired so fucking easily that you would have basically everyone have at least 5 athletics. I don't even remember if that is still a case here, but well, we're going to see. And I think Arcana is basically like lore. As I rather have split it up in 2 things, alchemy and arcana, I think. Explosives, bombs, noisemaker, similarizers. Mechanics is the lockpick thing, sleight of hand. Basically pickpocket. Stealth, all things that we have nothing to do with, luckily enough. And passive skills like bluff, diplomacy, history, insight, intimidate, metaphysics. Jesus Christ, you have really put some nonsense in here, haven't you? Jesus Christ.
Go forth now, Watcher, as my herald. Know that I do not give you this title lightly. When the time comes, you will have the power to reveal the souls that cling to you. To open the gateway from the in-between to the waking world.
Yes, give me powers. That is totally not going to fall back on you.
Find Aethys. Learn his plans. When I have cause to talk to you, I will summon you.
With a quick gesture of her hand, you feel a sharp pain in what would be your chest. The pain continues, intruding deeper into your soul. Looking down, you see a small lump of darkness roiling within you. The darkness lingers there, but the pain abates and fades entirely within the span of a few seconds.
Basically, she has given us a tumor.
A chime.
No, a tumor.
Do not fear, Herald. It will not harm you unless you choose to cross me. I trust it will not come to that.
Her gauntleted hand gestures to the dwarf, hovering nearby.
She kind of foresaw my genius plot of you now just ignoring everything you said once I'm back in the waking world. Well, I guess you can't really fool Death that easily.
The dwarf nods, contorts his face with his odd smile, and gestures to a new door.
Oh look, she's actually now using her sassy powers. Well, she was, I think. I actually need to stand around a bit for it to happen. Yep, that is. Like, yeah, look at me. I'm Sassy Peach now. Well, I mean, I kinda played it like this anyway, didn't I?
Time is not on your side, Watcher.
You don't say.
I suggest you get on with the task at hand.
Don't be a bitch about it.
The creases of the dwarf's face tighten into a smile as he gives you a courteous nod.
Courteous nod, go on, go forth, go do shit. I shall. Alright, where are we going? I do like it though. They really did, you know, a bit more with the whole background and moving stuff. But honestly, probably not a bad idea. I mean, you don't need it, but it's a nice touch, I'd say. Where the fuck do we, What the literal fuck? I'm lying there. I'm dead. And are you there? I'm not stupid, am I? Goosebumps rise on Adair's arm at your approach, but he seems unaware of your presence. You sense the steward's spirit in the bust, but she's unaware of you. Well, guess I have to occupy myself then. Just shooting myself into myself. Be like, hello world, it is I. It is indeed I. Once again back in the world of the living.
The return to your body feels like waking after a fitful drunken sleep. The rocking of the ship sends pain jolting through your limbs. Crashing waves hammer inside your skull. Adair watches over your body with a glazed look, taking long, even tokes from his pipe. At the first movement of your chest, he starts. His gasp, mid-puff, sends him coughing and straining for breath.
No, there's no way. You're awake. What are you doing awake?
Not sleeping. Yeah, man, it's good to see you again, though. The picture really doesn't charm you, as the first one did.
How are you feeling?
Who are you? Twitch, please, we know who that is. I'm in a lot of pain.
That might have been me. I've been slapping you a little harder each
Oh, for
day,
sake.
trying to wake you.
God's sake. He's such a nice character. I do love the characters in this game, though. They're made quite interesting. Most of them.
I dreamed did it work.
Adair stares with disbelief at what would likely be his slapping hand, examining both sides.
He's like, magical hand, eh? Maybe I can sell my slaps across the face or something.
Well, you owe me.
Nah, I'll take it.
I hate to cast a pall over your recovery, but I'm afraid I have some bad news for you.
Well,
The voice echoes from inside the bust. The remains of the steward of Cad Nua.
Cad Nua has been destroyed. Aethus possessed the statue of Maros Nua and rose from the ground, consuming the souls of all nearby.
he's actually right. It's not the statue of the of Ord Nua. That's the statue of his son, Maros Nua. Am I right? I'm right. Yep, I am. Game says so.
It is only by the exceptional strength of your soul that you survived. And even then, just barely. The further Aethus withdrew, the weaker you became. We chartered this ship and followed him to the Deadfire Archipelago.
Probably because it took, you know, like 95% of my soul with him, which kind of weakens me, probably. So in case you're wondering, I kind of, you know, taking a bite of my baguette here. Because I hadn't read any thing to eat yet. And I'm kind of feeling it. Don't mind me.
I know not how, but it seems he has retained a piece of your soul. And proximity to it has brought you back.
I know.
How could you know all that? You've been faking on us.
He pokes at your shoulder with one finger.
Misfortunes brewing topside. Magrant fires the captain stirs.
An older man with ale-sour breath rubs his bloodshot eyes and stares at you.
Engrim, the smell of drink on your breath could wake the very dead. Now what's this about?
Pirates. They're demanding parley with you, Captain.
I'm going to murder some pirates, I guess.
I know this is asking a lot, but you better arm yourself and get on deck. Should be some gear in there.
He indicates a nearby wardrobe.
Leko is just standing there and smoking. This pipe really makes me want to smoke my pipe, though. That's actually a problem. Now let's get me used to this. One of the few good things coming out of, you know, France. Never they managed to sit still and not run away like the little bitches they are. But yet, they added more variety.
Using the wardrobe. Got no time to dally. There's gear in that wardrobe. Take what you need.
The word Ukaizo is scribbled and crossed out on many points of this globe. Okay, so... Zeal, Paladin Power Pool. Okay, so that's that. Gilded Enmity. My flames, the visage of Death's Herald. Second win ability, Haymaker. Strike of heavy exhausting attacks to gain additional penetration at the cost of recovery time.
There are weapons in the armoire here.
Armoire.
Alright, now make some use of it.
Oh, look at this. It looks a bit different than the first one, of course, you know, it has changed a bit. But we can still edit the color scheme, I think, if we want to. Let's see how this actually looks when I wear armor on it. For the moment, let's stay with this. Then we have a great sword. Oh, that's the button. Well, that doesn't really help me much, though. If I use the great sword, I can't really... Yeah. Basically, this is the setup we had last time. We basically had one slot for a big two-handed weapon. I do like it that they actually now have them on the back and, you know, cheated, which is what you would do with your weapon. You wouldn't just have that, you know, out all the bloody time. But what I'm missing now is, of course, a small weapon.
Deadfire are notorious. I suggest you deal with them quickly. The pirates of Deadfire are notorious.
Get armed and suited up.
I suggest you deal with
deck.
them quickly.
I'm not worried. We have done some horrible things already. Now then, let's see how horrible this is gonna be. I'm assuming somewhere between, you know, very to very, very, very to, well, my ship is already sinking.
Well, what have we here? A little sloop?
Yes.
Lost and alone in the storm?
The narrator bitch has already lost it. No, it's my job again. Characters, let me finish chewing for a second. A surly, brutish-looking captain stands stiff-backed before his crew. He scolds as he assesses you, his hair whipping about his ears in the wind.
I'll be taking your ship now, if you don't mind. And especially if you do.
Do you know what's going to happen, my friend? I'm going to take my giant-ass sword and ram it up your ass so bloody fucking deep you will actually be able to polish my blade with your fucking tongue.
Well, at least he asked.
Good point, though. He's polite.
I am a gentleman of fortune.
Captain shrugs in the beating rain before pinning you with a slow, murderous grin.
Give her up easy, and I'll see you get a swift death. It'll be bloody and agonizing, sure. But at least it'll be quick.
Oh, it's actually something we can say because we're make a root gesture. Yeah, just flip him off. Not even just talking. Just stand aside, you listen to him, and then you're just like raising your hand slowly and go like, make the bird to the face, you bitch. Sounds pretty loud. Did you say you're surrendering? How strange. You're going to mount your skull in a cabin. Pirates. I don't have a grill with you. No, let's actually go with the mercenary option. Must be nice to get paid to talk so much.
You're the one who'll be paying me. Ain't that just lovely?
You don't know half of it.
Listen up, mates.
He cracks his neck as he addresses his crew.
I'm off to spear me a bigger fish. One with sharper teeth like. I'm trusting you lot not to cock this up. Don't damage the sloop when you take it.
Coward.
Play with the crew if you'd like, but don't bring me any prisoners. None that are alive.
You heard, Benwick!
You're right, Bender. Walk through now.
Defend the ship!
Okay. I think it is a bit over leveled here. let's actually try, you know, to be a secondary tank and not a, you know, main tank. Are they all dead? Oh no, they're not all dead. I don't think there's actually space for me up there.
Storm's picking up. Take cover.
Great. From one trouble to the next trouble. It never fucking ends. Pirates, storms, all of the nonsense. You've defeated the pirates, but not out of trouble yet. The storm picks up, lashing your ship and driving you dangerously close to a rocky shore. The Defiance. The Defiant is a ship purchased with the last of Ketnua's riches. It has borne you from the eastern reach to the Deadfire archipelago. The Defiant's crew hurries to reduce sail and batten down the hatches. They work quickly, the ship is still listing heavily. Just then, a loose crate tumbles towards you, gathering speed on the rain-slicked deck. It misses you, and knocks Chitupek, one of your deckhands, off his feet. The Defiant heaves. Chitupek pitches over the side. He grabs onto the rail, and his fingers are slipping. He cries out for help. Meanwhile, the runaway crate totters on the edge of the deck, ready to plunge overboard. You recognize the symbol of the front, and realize this likely contains the salvage from Katnua, your keep. Well, shit. I'm in for the money, but I'm not a fucking asshole, and I mean, yeah, it's kind of part of my crew, and I don't tend to abandon my crew. Let's rescue Chitupek. Grab Chitupek's arm, just as his grip fails. For a tense moment, he hangs suspended over the roiling sea. Then, with a mighty tug, you pull him back onto the deck. Yeah, because we are pretty damn fucking strong. You hear a heavy splash. The crate from Katnua is gone. Chitupek, meanwhile, nods in gratitude and hurries to his station. It's bloody damn well hope that you repay me for that, you bloody asshole. Meanwhile, the storm has nearly driven you ashore. A flash of lightning reveals a treacherous coastline, and Eosa straight into the distance. That's, okay. Lookout barely has time to shout a warning before the Defiant runs aground. The impact hurls you from the deck into the froth of waves, bodies, and splintering debris. You struggle towards the beach just ahead, and as the surf tugs you toward the open sea, you kick and pedal with all your might, till at last you feel sand between your fingers. Pulling yourself ashore, you collapse. Bam, bam, bum, bum, bum. What a way to start our adventure, isn't it? Once again, not in a peaceful way, but at least, hey, this time we're not just sick. We are already dead because we have a fucking tumor inside of us. Well. New quest. Stranded.
You've been getting a lot of sleep so far on this trip.
Yeah, really do.
I'd have woke you, but you look so peaceful with your face in the sand.
Oh, isn't that nice? Maybe it turned me around, but you know. Leo runs his fingers through his hair and removes a strand of seaweed he finds lodged there. He examines it closely and tosses it onto the sand.
If you're worried about the ship, you can stop worrying. It's wrecked right over there.
That's great. He points out the Defiant, despite it being difficult to miss from your vantage point.
So far, it's just you and me and the chair lady over there.
Adele nods towards something further up the beach.
It's a relief to see you awake, my lady. I worried you were in for another long sleep.
I mean, I'm actually surprised that you managed to get ashore. Your steward appears to be lodged between some rocks. Despite this, her tone is warmly cheerful. I hate boats. I mean, it's not the boat's fault. It's basically fucking Eosa's going, all bitchy. I'm going to, you know, use my massive ass to, well, make the sea more wavy, I guess. Because, you know, he's basically pushing the water aside, and that is a problem because he's actually, you know, stepping through it, creating movement. Probably something like that. So, more important question, where the fuck are we?
I don't know, but it's real pretty.
Apart from the dead bodies, you mean?
Difficult to say for certain. The Deadfire is spotted with islands, some quite small. The good news is that if the storm hasn't spun us round entirely, I'd say we're in charted waters. I believe the Valian Trading Company operates in the region.
That is good, which means we're at least not, you know, on some uncharted
Hence
islands.
that little visit from that wretched pirate captain.
God, any help here, Bera? God, if that's gonna be like, no. I'm just here to collect souls. So what do we do now?
It is your decision, but Aethus still holds a piece of your soul.
A large one, yeah.
He was moving inland last I saw of him. I rather think he will have been hard to miss.
He's a giant statue, towering over the water, or basically up to the clouds. I don't think it is physically possible to miss that thing.
Let's see about the other survivors. And somehow we gotta get the ship repaired.
Hey, sounds like a plan.
I don't want to be paddling out of here on a salvage raft.
Understandable.
Now, I'd say your best
Understandable
bet
indeed.
is to find some sign of civilization. If nothing else, we may be able to hire on a shipwright. My lady, if it is not too taxing, could you explain how it came to pass that you were returned to us?
Screamed dramatically while looking out at the ocean. I've returned as the Herald of Bera. I'm on a special mission to find Eosas and learn what his plans are. Turns out the gods are too dumb to figure out what Eosas is doing, so they sent me back to figure it out. Honestly, that is the most realistic statement I've seen. And honestly, I'm not a fan of the gods. The gods have been, throughout our playthrough of the first Pillars of Eternity, been a bit of an asshole to us, so let's put it into the right turn. Turns out the gods are too dumb to figure out what Eosas is doing, and they sent me back to figure it out.
Could be they're just not dumb enough to get in Aethys' way up here.
That could also be, you know, but who knows.
A perilous endeavor indeed. Castle or no castle, you are still my lady, and I will aid you to the best of my ability.
Yes, but I still would like to have my castle back, you know? I kinda missed that one. It cost me like a fortune to build that up.
Well, I suppose we better get a move on.
I'm not going to send Adair away, for fuck's sake, game. He's been with me through all of the first one. You think I would have been my companion like this? You don't know me well, game. Let's go. Ooh, I can change things. Oh, look, that pipe looks familiar. It's almost looking like mine, or one of mine. I have two. I choose the same class on multiple class for this companion. The choice cannot be initiator. You can be a fighter, you can be a rook, or a swashbuckler. Fighter rook. I want you to be a fucking fighter. I want you to be my main tank again.
Sure.
Well then, first, learn basic controls and find out what the fuck is going on. Also plunder all the corpses, of course.
Hope the rest of those sodden bastards made it.
Well, we can once again see ghosts, which means we are still a watcher. Another buckler. Actually, do I have a small weapon yet? Oh, is this my stash? Oh, this goes directly to my stash. I see. It's kind of cool. It's a one-handed saber. Why can't I? It says it's a one-handed saber. I'm not an idiot, am I? Let's not think about it too deeply, I suppose. This belongs to this. I don't care. Maybe it's some specific offhand variant of a saber. Yes, idiotic as that would be. Well then, we are back with our most basic bitch team, I suppose. Adair as a fighter and us as a paladin. Man, those brings back memories. I remember when we traveled in, you know, a small group. Back in the day.
Hey, fancy seeing you here.
Discreet's voice warps and shifts, muted as if by a great distance. Even so, he grins brightly at you.
I can't see much of anything, really, apart from you. Just endless gray. What happened?
Well... Shoo, go to what the light and all that. Don't be mean to him, he doesn't know. Well, you know, the ship ran aground in the storm. You died.
Storm? That's strange. You'd think a man would recall a storm.
Yeah,
It's
should.
It's like someone cut away a part of my memory. There's just this big black hole.
See, that is why I'm here to kindly remind you that you're dead.
It's weird. I thought death would be different. Big light and so on. But I don't see anything at all. Just you.
Well, if you can see me, that's good. You better charge me with guiding souls to the afterlife, so guess you're my responsibility, no?
Oh. Suppose that sounds nice enough.
Sure.
I'll follow you then, shall I?
Oh, come along, little one. The spirit falls into step behind you, radiating cheer.
Ghosts, huh? Suppose you're stuck with that.
Yeah, it's kind of been my stick since forever. Seeing the dead.
Help! Somebody! Per con Blanca! Why not?
Speak to me in civilized, otherwise I'm not going to help you. Per complanker, nope. Per complanker is not a thing. Is it just me or have they actually done some pretty nice thing with the water? Because it kinda looks neat. The Defiant is looking far worse for wear after its unexpected landfall. The hull has splintered in several places along the keel, while the tattered sails stand as evidence of your battle with the pirates. The deck of the Defiant is well out of reach from here. The ship groans like a beached whale each time the waves roll in. It doesn't seem to be listing further. May be able to climb up. Scale the hull by hand. It's a watch-only check. You climb nimbly up the side of the ship and reach the top without so much as breaking a sweat. Eder is not far behind, putting himself up and over the railing beside you. Of course, we're both warriors. Hey, Rainier, or whatever your name is.
Looking better, Casita. That, or I'm worse off than I thought.
Do you want my help or do you want to sit there and be trapped forever? A sheen of sweat on her brow and the wan cast to her features belly Serena's carol greetings. Valin turned for captain. Don't call me that. We are civilized people here, not some mongoloid.
It's my leg, Matico. It hurts even worse than it looks.
Irina's leg bears a bloody gorge along the length of her shin. The swelling around her knee suggests a nasty break. You didn't expect it, of course. Maricha! You're fucking Italian, eh? What happened?
I was a stubborn Postinaga. I was trying to fasten this mess down when we struck shore. Barrel rolled right over my leg.
Yeah, that's fun, isn't it? Well, basically, it means literal curl, but it is supposed to indicate idiot.
Everything we've been through, and I'm nearly done in by a cask of rum.
It's one way to go, I guess. They do say that alcohol kills, but I guess they didn't really mean that way. 15 minutes?
It's hard to see much from the underside of the barrel.
Okay, this is craft a splint from some debris. I'll pledge you up best as I can, but you'll want to stay like much possible. I have... Okay, party has this +3, so I get 3 from Eder basically, and then we have, hang on, I'll carry you back, which is athletics, and might, which is pretty much all I can do. Hang on, I'll carry you back down.
Quite romantic, Casita. I'll try not to hold it against you if you drop me.
Yeah, let's talk more about romanticism, and I'm going to drop you inside of the, side of the boat and into the water. Because I'm such a nice person. Don't make me shoot you, basically. Now I have moved away. What do we have in there? A sword. That finally looks like something I could probably... Even really changed in here a bit. They changed the graphics. It looks quite a bit different now. I'm not really against it, mind you, but it's kind of strange. It will take some getting used to. Standard equipment, eh? She looks like she's coming along to where we know. Let's talk to...
There must be other survivors out there.
Surely they are. Must they, though? That's not necessarily the case. Ooh, a young boar. Let's go.
First.
Go, 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 go.
Suey. Suey.
That's not trying to be funny here, eh? I don't think you're gonna get that off, but try your best.
Let's do this.
Ooh, yeah, we get, that's actually something there, that isn't it? The death cameras.
No problem.
Kill cameras?
Watcher, over here.
Give me a second, man.
There's nothing for miles.
Isn't that good? Well, at least I'm glad you survived. It would have been a pain in the ass if I saved you and then you died.
It is good to see you well, Watcher.
I believe the boars were hoping for easy meat.
Chitupek greets you with a relieved nod, checks the pistol at his hip.
The bosun, Beadle, is in that cave over there. Ran in after a boar. Stubborn old dwarf.
What happened?
After we made landfall, you mean? I woke and Beadle was close by, swearing fit to bring Andra's wrath upon us a second time. We began to search for supplies.
That's practical thinking. I like it.
I came over this way in hopes of gathering some of that blood moss over there. I thought it might be of use. I imagine the boars had the same idea.
Why are you out here?
I was able to calm one of the boars with a spell. For a time, at least. By the time I was through, I had lost sight of Beadle.
Okay.
I remained here, hoping he would return quickly. He has not.
Well, since we already lost so many people, let's actually go look for him. I'll look for him.
For the campfire. I must get this pistol cleaned if it's going to be of any use. Be careful in there, Captain.
Aye, aye. Soldier. Seaman! Quite literally. I love this word, seaman. No matter how you say it, it will always sound just wrong enough. Crewmate sounds a lot better, because it's not sounding like I'm talking about something very different. But it is technically correct there, seaman.
Spy! Magran, here! My flame burns yet!
What do you want? Yeah, but we're kind of missing our little line in there, but well, it doesn't matter. Ild Ingrim appears to be in sound condition, though his wax jacket is soaked through. He praises you with blurry-eyed amusement.
You woke just in time for the fun.
Apparently.
Fighting off motherless raiders one moment, flung into the freezing depths of Andra's bosom the next.
That particular bosom is not very comfortable. It doesn't give me the nice feeling and, you know, the excitement that usually comes from being indulged with the bosom. Alas, his eyes twitches as he flashes a smile, notable for its extraordinary absence of teeth. Okay.
Aye. Magran learns us poor bastards that a little excitement's good for the heart.
Yeah, but Magran's a bitch, so... The last Maranite to travel with me almost went mad because of his goddess trials.
Aye, but almost mad ain't fully mad. Old Durance. The goddess shan't forge another like him in our lives.
Bitch, please, I want him back. He's pretty damn useful. He was a very good priest.
There's nae getting the ship back underway without repairs.
Aye.
The road inland seems the best chance of that.
Aye.
You want to be kicking some of the corpses before you go, see if some cry out. We need a crew if we're to set sail.
That's one way of saying, you know, look for survivors. Just kick the corpses a bit and see who starts shouting at you for the pain.
I'll see you at the campfire, Captain.
Oi.
Magran's flame warms my soul, but these old bones need a touch of the real thing.
Aye, see you there.
Good.
See you there.
I'll keep an eye out for others, Watcher, if you'll do the same.
But seriously, though, I don't want to have anything to do. Most of the gods we had interacted with a bit more have proven to be assholish to a fucking high degree. Voidica is basically the queen bitch. Quite literally responsible for all of the Latin kingy nonsense and, you know... Out of it. Oh, look, they actually have a nice little animation for going through deep water. I like it. As for Magran, yeah. If you have Durance in your party for a long time, you will learn that she is quite a bit more of a whore than he makes her out to be. Even worse, basically. And there's the whole thing where she and the other gods, you know, did some horrible things here and there. I mean, Andra herself kind of betrayed Abidin in one of those white magic princes, as we learned, and so for some reason, some mystical reason, the gods ain't really, you know, trustworthy. And since we also learned that they are not really gods, but just, you know, very, very, very powerful beings. Don't tell me about stealth, because I can't stealth. Who are make-believe gods. I shall not invest much trust in them at fucking all.
I guess we're not the first to head this way.
I mean, there's, you know, wooden structures and stuff, which would kind of point to the fact that people have been here before. I'm just gonna say that, though, you know, just as a nice reminder. Cave beetle. What's that skull supposed to say? Probably...
Sure.
Blanket! The effects do look nicer though. Bam, kill cam. That's annoying me though. Now controls camera. Oh wait, I can't just go like. Don't use kill cam. I see a skeleton. That's a bit higher category-wise than just a beetle.
Could be a fight.
Let's go.
Okay, close attack. You go back. Okay, I kind of wanted to flank him though.
Nice hit.
Flank the bitch. Yeah, the gun. Isn't it technically the case that undead like skeletons are too quote-unquote dumb, or rather actually loot? Can I do something about the loot? Height of the pointers, show reactivity, show party health, big heads, color blind, seeing motion, continue movement on engagement, area loot in meters. Because even I'm not, you know, autistic enough to go like, yes, I want to loot everything personally. I'm quite happy not. But isn't it in the lore like basically skeletons are too stupid basically to use weapons like that? Actually, there was a message there, wasn't there? A water-locked note. Still no sign of Benweth. How much longer are we gonna wait? The wet's already ruined half our take. And get your stinking construct under control. I've been hanging out by that crystal. I swear it's been giving me the eye. Oh look, we have pets again. Stinky Pete. Cutthroat Cosmo. Big Cat. And just Cosmo.
No sweat.
Yeah, we don't have any mechanic skill. We are many great things, but we are not thieves. We are outright warriors.
Why not?
Where is this going to lead me?
Could be a fight. Sure.
Looks like trouble.
After him.
I shall now name you my enemy.
This ends here. You like that?
Bam. Dramatic combat. I mean, it has two skulls, which probably is a way of telling the difficulty, I suppose. Also, why are you tracing that one now?
Let's go.
A bit of a useless way of doing it, honestly.
Right on target.
Don't have enough zeal anymore, eh? Okay, so this uses actually zeals and not just, you know, certain
What's
set
a
of...
killing machine doing out here by himself in a cave anyway? Collecting his thoughts.
And yeah,
Sure.
couldn't really do much more, can it? Dozen paintings, mildewed and worthless, lie in the wall, amongst broken bottles and rotting wood.
It looks about as good as it smells at this point. Well, that's gonna be hard to clean.
Ring of minor protection. I do love magical items. Oh, so very much. We're going to get a nice little collection again going. I can tell you that much already. Mostly because you know. If I have anything to say about it, and I have, our collection will grow massively. Oh, it's Golden Splash again. That's a healing item. I also have a Defiant Apparel. Grants the Captain's Eye. While not flanked, the warrior has resistance to Perception Affliction. Nice. Okay, it looks somewhat unfitting. I don't like it. You know, going by looks is probably a bad idea here, but still, no, thank you very much. That looks horrible. No, thank you. The Cloak of Birath. Blah 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 blah. Few numbers. Doesn't give me any bonus, though. Cloak of the Obsidian, oder? There's rumor they played a role in the defeat of Theos. Their presence in the Deathfire indicates world-shaking events to come. Okay, so basically it's just for looks now. How does this look? Okay, how does this look? At least this one isn't, you know. Ah, but it's clipping through my shield. Yeah. That doesn't give me any bonus anyway, so. Through you, basically.
Hey, that's not bad.
Yep, not bad at Forganol, let's say. Okay, so that's where Beodul is, and
Why not?
Damned pirates! Andra, take your scabrous souls for fish food.
yeah, but I'm not one.
Beodul, still alive and calling everybody scabrous, I see.
If that's his modi operandi, I guess.
Just need a boat.
Yay. The easiest part we have done, the hardest part not.
There! And I see that corpse we've been carting around is looking a slight more sprightly. Good to see the two of you, but mind your step. I've got myself in a spot of trouble.
Oh, are you referring to the traps around you?
Trying to find a way past without losing a leg or getting a face full of poison.
Perception hidden, I see them. I'll get you through.
Well, if you're certain.
And Beodul gets to his feet. You point out a safe path along the floor. Beodul makes his way along, sweating and stiff-jawed. Safe on the other side, he lets out a breath he's been holding and wipes his brow.
It's just bats and stinking corpses in this cave. You find anyone else?
Ah, we've got a campfire going on the beaches. Get your ass over there. He gingerly sets his weight on his injured foot, grimacing.
And I'll head that way myself. See you on the beach, Captain.
Aye, aye.
Leave it to me.
Can I actually do something about this? I failed. I will probably fail again and again and again.
Looks like trouble.
After him. Got it.
Piraeus!
Ah, my plan was good, but I wasn't fast enough. This be saddening me quite a bit. Oh, excuse me. Me nose. It itches. Ah, fuck's sake, you have a...
Let's go.
You have a ranged attack, eh? That's not very nice of you.
Let's do this.
Do wonder why he's actually choosing... Oh, actually... Ah, so in this one we can actually push them aside, so we should get in range. Was always a bit of a problem in the first one, because, well, you could technically block yourself off from that. I don't wonder if my enemy can push me, though, because then blocking off is going to be even further difficult.
No,
I don't really want that. There's an underwater passage here. Kinda want to check out the upper area, but that means also running smack dab through that trap. Oh, look at that, the corpse is actually getting stripped after we take things from it. It's neat. Let's see if the button still works. It does.
Hey.
Yeah, you have the health. I want you to go in here.
I could go for some what I about now.
He has been sickened by his own failure, of course. Now then, we have found a piece of armor, a Principe leather armor. That ain't gonna be shit. Yep, nope. Oh, wait, is it the other one? Ah, breastplate. 5/5, mace armor 7, it's medium armor, it's basically the same I have. Probably gonna look different. I like this look more. This looks nice. Still don't see much about the golden details that we should have. Oh, wait, you didn't. Ah, now I see. Ah, I don't really like it. Let's stay with the gray. in at sea in that underwater passage. It's probably going to be a test of my athleticism again, and well, that is at least one ability we're good at. And when we're leveling up, we're gonna get even better at it. Do we still have the health and endurance system though? Kinda doesn't look like it, does it? Butler Ben. Then, oh boy, this is when things start getting interesting, isn't it? We're going to learn from some things indeed. Stealth is really not our ability, that's not gonna be ability. I think actually athletics and I think honestly athletics is probably the one thing we need above anything else. Everything else is kinda like meh, don't really need it. As for passive skills, what shall we focus on? That would be fitting. Well, since we are a little tough bitch, probably Intimidate is not a bad choice. I mean, Insight does kinda seem nice, but basically we get party assisting stuff too, so we don't really need to be good at everything. We have a party to deal with that. You know, let us actually focus on things most easily. Now then, we have one ability available. We could learn the Lay on Hands. Never was a fan of that though. Its defenses are directly affected by the degree deep phase. The intensity of the villain's phase deepens, granting him increased defenses bonus. Fast runner, retribution. Bonus ability applied to defense based on how well the player's reputation aligned with their order's preferred behaviors. So where is that one that actually allows me to negate any misalignment, basically. It's still in the game, isn't it? I damn well hope. Triumph, spell resistance, tough luck, righteous soul, practice healer, fortress, inspired path, clear head. Weapon styles. By the degree to which she shapes the concept of beliefs, bonus abilities applied. I don't see it, which is kind of annoying. No, then as for you, since I already have athleticism, I don't really think you need athleticism. But you also already have started on explosive, so I kinda would like to say you will be my explosive man also. Nice pipe. It really gets me in the mood to smoke my own pipe though. It's a problem. You are good at intimidate and well, you have survival, so let's actually get your survival going ever further. Disciple Barrage. Intensely focus on the training, gaining the aware inspiration for a short time. Monastic unarmed training gains scaling. Whoops. Significant unarmed attacks. It becomes more fleet and eminent, increases trading granting defensive bonus against disengagement, and arms bearer. Honestly, none of them really impress me. Yeah, where? Perception, inspiration. Where catches plus 5 perception, 50 grace to hit. Effective as amongst unarmed strikes. Goes moving 15% stride. Can run in combat with higher scores of scoring more round. I mean, that would kind of be useful in the long run, so I'm kind of going to go for that, I guess. Then let's take a look here. The waters here glow in eerie blue. The cave glistens with reflected light. You can just make out an opening in the cavern wall to the northwest, where the water flows onward. The tunnel seems to extend a short distance before turning sharply, but you cannot see where it leads. I have a pretty good athleticism. Damn. Each taking a last gulp of air on the surface, your party swims into the tunnel, following the cavern wall as it bends. Halfway through, Chan plans to lag behind. Panic sets in as the remaining distance becomes clearer. There returns to help, pulling Chan forward to safety. I'll come up into what appears to be another, smaller cavern, where sunlight streams in from an opening in the stone. Aha! Was it really worth it though? Questions amongst questions, my peoples. We shall find out what's outside and judge by that, I suppose. Oh, there's a ghost here.
Told him not to bring that thing in there. Didn't like the look of it one bit. But no one daren't speak poor of his precious animancy tech.
The ghostly figure paces the length of the small outcropping with quick, deliberate steps, muttering to herself all the while. A long cape laps with the wind that blows from the in-between.
Special gift from his contact, he says. Now it's acting all weird. Gives me the damn creeps. You feel it too, right? Like it's looking straight through you?
Can't say I do. She turns piercing purple eyes on you. She shakes her head and resumes her pacing.
Came out here to get away. Couldn't stand it staring at me anymore. Then... Oh, my memory's fuzzy. Anyway, you want to bend with? Haven't seen you for, but he's been bringing all sort of new folks on lately. Can't hardly keep track.
Ooh, perception. Looks like the Roxy did a number on your boat.
I think I remember something about a boat. Yeah. And some screaming.
And probably some dying.
Look, maybe we should stick together. Feels right, you know? Well, with you being the only other thing around and all. I can give you a hand with, spirity stuff.
No kidding, well, follow to the ghost friend. Not really though. You what you like, I'm a watcher. Got spiritual stuff covered. Let's not be nasty here. Stay with me. I'll find a way to return you to the wheel.
I tell you, mate, I'd take anything over this endless grey. Even Remagon's frosty arse crack.
That's a bit too frosty for my personal taste. The spirit tries to give you a friendly pat on the shoulder, but her hand passes right through you. Unperturbed, she grins and walks along behind you. Foul, briny stench rises from the sodden crates, the contents rotten. But there's a pistol in here. And I guess that was that. Back into the cave we shall go, and back out again. The pool is still and quiet. Having made the Earthers swim once already, you are fairly confident you can find your way back. Bam. Well, once you know what's going, it's not scary anymore. It really reduces the chance of you panicking and doing something horribly idiotic. Now then, I guess we have done everything we can on this nice little beach. I mean, quite literally, I don't think there's anything else we could do, you know, reasonably speaking. So I guess it's time to go and look at my people. All of the collected peoples. I do like how they actually, you know, slowing down in deep water or deep water.
We'll have a spy at that leg of yours.
Should have seen me with that barrel, Angrim. I showed it who's boss.
And then it showed you who's boss.
Magrin gives some of us simpler trials than others.
What a mess. We'll be needing help getting the Defiant off the ground.
You don't say. So, do you know anything about this place?
We got turned around in that storm. Hard to be sure just where we are.
Well, what do we do now?
Not much chance of us moving the ship on our own, but we're in charted waters. There's bound to be a town nearby.
Okay, let's hope for that then.
We are lucky to have found land.
Good news, Captain. I found some supplies must have washed ashore.
Nice.
Even better. I've located some spirits. The mundane kind, I mean. Nothing that requires your talents, Watcher.
His eyes twitch and twinkle in delight, like, spirit. See any other survivors?
We've come away from this one limping, Captain, but we live to see the next battle through.
Oh, what do you think we should do now?
It's just the lot of us now, Captain. You'd best head into town and see about supplies and repairs. I'll keep an eye on the ship.
So do you know anything about this island?
Live here. I ken that much. Means we're a sight better off than we could be.
Good point, good point.
Of course, it's surely pirate territory. They have a number of bolt holes out this way. I'd nae be surprised if that cave up north is one of them.
Oh yeah, it absolutely is.
Could be they lie in wait for us even as we speak.
Nah, don't worry, they're dead.
Theodore said you had to bail him out of trouble. Diverus? Was he crying? You can tell me.
Yes, I could, but I won't. Yeah, she totally showed that barrel who's boss, and then the barrel turned things around and showed her who's boss. Quite literally. Flattening her. Check food here to promote individuals or retrieve bonuses. Take a nice little rest. Recover your health. Tonight campfire. Nice little campfire. Isn't this nice and dandy? I do would like that they actually, you know, give me an opportunity to actually engage with the with my party basically at camp. That would be nice. But I guess you can't have everything. No, excuse me. The Forgotten Sanctum has been installed. You will automatically begin the first quest of this adventure when you receive a visitor upon the high seas. Time proves far enough through pillars of opportunity to do that fire to access the Forgotten Sanctum. You automatically begin the first quest of adventure when the suit contacts you after you have progressed. There seems to be stuff here. All the stuff that does look like something. In the distance, you see a simple wagon. The angle at which it rests on the ground, one side jutting above the other, suggests that it had been damaged or disabled. Even from your vantage, you can make out Kif milling around it. Well, what's opening? As you near the cart, you can make out a group of red Saran pilgrims in the rough spun lines and cottons. A single draft horse stamps at the ground impatiently, as two of the pilgrims argue over the front right wheel, which seems hopelessly stuck in the mud. One of the pilgrims notices you. Her step back draws the attention of the others, and a man in a well-worn gambeson steps forward. The light of deep concern hangs on his face. But the dreams bring you here as well. The pilgrims look at you with a mix of apprehension and hope. Dreams. We're farmers. Come from Red Terrace to work the colony fields here. We are believers, all to the one and the light of Eosas. As the pilgrims nod fervently in agreement, a woman with a smiling baby lifts the infant's hand to wave. I have been having dreams, 3 stars sailing through the sky, piercing the black of a storm cloud. Figured it must be him, Eosas, calling to us. So we came here, to the place we saw in our dreams. The pilgrims look around, matching their sleeping memory to the present. We saw the giant pass, with 3 stars on his brow, but His eyes and gestures to the wagon stuck in the mud. Sad to say, we could not follow him. Wheel stuck as stuck gets. None of us are strong enough to lift that corner up to get something under it. Only one of us tries, and we just get in each other's way. The other pilgrims nod and stretch, suddenly remembering their aching bodies. Inspect the wagon. Let me take a look. A brief inspection reveals that the wagon is undamaged, but the wheel is stuck fast in the mud. We have some wood, the old man says as he gestures to the back of the wagon. If we can get the wheel up, we can slide that beneath it. Inside the wagon you see several planks of wood. A small box of valuables sits to the side. One of the younger Dawnsters looks at you, eyes wide. Reckon you can lift it? Pretty sure I can. It's like, bam. I have 16 of that. You square yourself to the wagon's corner. Squat deep and wrest the wheel from the mud with a grunt. The young Dawnster stands in shock for a moment, but reacts in time to thrust a thick board beneath the wheel. It takes the better part of an hour to lay down a safe path for the wagon to roll free of the mud. You and the Dawnsters, who've roped into your work, glisten with sweat, but they laugh happily, singing songs of praise for Eosas. Well, and just imagine, that was my little, little female down here going like, well, I can lift this shit. She must have some serious puzzle on her. Results, 2 hours passed. Smiling, the leader presses a small pouch of coins into your hand. We appreciate your help. Without you, who knows how long we would have been stranded out here. They begin to prepare their wagons as you take your leave. You've gained an item, 15 silver pfennig. The item was put into your stash. The old man calls out to you as you go. Take care of yourself and your soul, traveler. Whether you came for Asos or not, we know in our hearts that he has come for us. Oh no, he's basically running in the other direction, aren't you? Can I get a bigger view of... No, of course not. Because I kind of want to, I don't want to miss anything, so I'm kind of... want to make sure I actually see things. What's that? Can I get some berries? Okay, that looks like there's gonna be combat there, so I guess our first goal should be to go to the Porte-Manger and get ourselves some stuff, but exploration is free after all. There's a burial site here. Mana tribes traditionally heap their dead onto pyres to give their bodies to the deep sea, but mounds like these suggest that rangas of honor, wealth and distinction were buried nearby. Make a quick save here and see what interactions we get. While wandering the Deadfire countryside, you stumble upon a site used frequently for ritual cremations. Beside the flat expanse of earth where a pyre might have been sits a small crypt full of beautiful baskets containing cremated remains. Search location. You take some time to search the burial site. 2 hours passed. And find a collection of rare gems. Keep searching. Keep searching. Can I actually stay here and keep searching forever? Rummage through the whole burial site. There's nothing left but the dead. I am very, very, very grateful for them to burying their valuables with the dead, because I do need those. Because, I'm alive and I need help and money. I lost my castle, so I'm kind of sitting here like, I'm poor now. Okay, this looks like it's going to be a combat encounter, doesn't it? Let's actually just, quickly explore the rest of the area as far as we can. See if we can find anything else we can interact with. Solitary rice farm. It looks beautiful enough to welcome trade. Ah, I found a trader. I can buy rice from him. Yay! How surprising, considering his trade. What could you possibly buy at a rice farm? Yes. Rice. Wow. Also, those are not my footprints, so I'm assuming that's Eosas wandering all over the fucking island. I have such a bloody nasty job, don't I? Well, it's probably going to take us all night, but we shall reach Porte-Manger soonish. Dum dum dum. Oh, right, the little goblin thing. I think he's a pirate, actually, but you know what I mean. the left-hand side. Come on, loading. I do think that, if my memory is not wrong, that the loading times in Pillars of Eternity 2 have kinda, you know, turned a bit more. Well, can't really help with that, sadly enough. Probably the one thing we really can't do anything about. Port Magie Haber, Deep Spring. 2828. Well, the last journey took us in-game time of almost a year, 11 months. So, you know, this journey is probably going to take as long.
Better see what that crowd's about.
Yeah, we will. Sadly, though, dear little there, we will not do this time. Mostly because I am quite literally still a bit under the weather. I'm still not sure if it's because of that fucking shot, but I will just assume that no matter what, it will go away on its own in time. So yeah, this was our first introduction to this new and exciting one. This shall be on a short time. You will have to get used to the new graphics, to the new style, and, well, I will have to learn the new rules. I don't yet know really how much changed. I will probably take a bit of time off my schedule tomorrow, when I find it, to read up a bit about the differences so that I don't run smack dab into some problems, but for the most part I will try to play it as blind as I possibly can, because that is more fun, I think. Surely mistakes will be made, but, well, you know, who really wouldn't enjoy this? A journey to the unknown, that is. Things have changed, things look bitter, I say, no, of course not. Things look better, different, and this shall be our Friday entertainment. I do know that for the first episode it was a bit shortish, and, well, basically, first hour has been lost to just, you know, character creation. But good things will take their time, and we now have all the time in the world to travel far and wide throughout the Deathfire Archipelago. And of course kicking in once again, you know, the god says, basically. For the moment, I will have to bid you adieu, though. Have a good one and all of that, and, well, yes. Thanks for dropping by. It is, as usual, appreciated, and I will say that I will actually, I'm looking forward to this one. It will be a long-running series once again, I will assume. I think the first Pillars of Eternity took us like, I don't know, almost 30 episodes or something. That's a lot of playtime, let's just say. And that's actually good. It gives my Friday, you know, a nice little, nice something to look forward to, I suppose. And of course, with this we shall end it. I shall be back tomorrow, of course. And I will go to bed now after I've done pretty much this. I will sit down and smoke my pipe a bit, because, well, that's really relaxing. But yeah, tomorrow is Saturday. I have a bit of a long day ahead of me, mostly because I need to prepare some more stuff, and I wasn't really all that concentrated for the last few days, which kinda, you know, made my work a bit inconsistent. But that I agree, but it will take some time. It shouldn't really have any effect, but we will probably not have any extra stream beforehand. Maybe we will if I manage to, but expect me back in the evening as per usual. Well then, on this high note and the anticipation of things to come,
I got it.
we shall very much look forward to what's going to be around here. Oh, I can actually just activate it. That's nice. Penetration, yes, penetrate them. But yeah. But then without much further ado, I guess it shall be bye-bye for the moment. See ya tomorrow, and